Punk Revolution now. Hey everybody, today we're going to be reviewing Dan Deacon's newest album, Mystic Familiar. So Dan Deacon, kind of a weird, funny artist. So INDIETRONICA, NEO-PSYCHEDELIC INDIETRONICA pop that throws a lot of freaking things at you, lots of textures and layering all sorts of wacky, weird sounds. Kind of sounds like Animal Collective with the whole, very textured music that's neo-psychedelic pop, but Dan Deacon's a little bit more on the electronic INDIETRONICA side than Animal Collective ever really tapped into. So, I don't know, just pretty interesting artist. He hasn't really released anything in a while now, but he's been around for like over a decade. So let's see what the fuck he's doing in 2020, new decade, new Dan Deacon. Let's start by taking a look at the album cover. What the fuck is going on with this fucking album color? What the hell is this cover? This is just a classic neo-psychedelia kind of album cover. The colors in this album cover are very chill. I like the color palette. I actually don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't know anything about art, so ignore me. But for real, let's fucking talk about music. The music. That's the cover. Perfectly cool cover. Very psychedelic. Whatever. Music. So I would describe this album as a blend of Animal Collective meets Philip Glass. Philip Glass, the minimalism composer, using all sorts of keys, keyboards, and synths and shit to kind of just make some sort of kind of atmospheric, repetitive, cool music. I'm getting that vibe in this album, and it's really interesting because I really haven't heard much of a blend of Animal Collective meets Philip Glass pretty much at all. So good job, Dan Deacon, on creating this sort of unique sound going on in this album. And of course, woven in throughout the Philip Glassy minimalist sort of compositions are certainly some sweet pop songs, neo-psychedelic pop songs with the quirkiness and weirdness, not too different than what you'd expect from Animal Collective. So pretty cool stuff. So what the fuck is he doing here musically? Like I said, there's some cool pop songs here, but I think the real thing that makes this album unique is the 4-track run of ARPs. ARP 1, ARP 2, ARP 3, ARP 4. There's 4 of them, and they all kind of just display different sort of compositions using all these arpeggiating synths, and it's like, whoa, this is like ambient, fucking minimalist, electronic, mind-bending textures with poppiness in it. And then, of course, on the 3rd ARP is when it's the real big climax where it just like, pours all these fucking synths and just textures just pounding you. That's the real climax of the entire album, I think. Frankly, not that different than Boris's album Flood, because Boris's album Flood has Flood 1, Flood 2, Flood 3, Flood 4, ARP 1, ARP 2, ARP 3, ARP 4, and then, of course, in the third track of both of those song runs is when there is the fucking climax. I don't know, whatever. Okay, but honestly, folks, pretty creative idea here. Wasn't that thrilled with the execution. I thought it was cool. Didn't really give a shit that much about the compositions, though. Like, I thought it was just, like, perfectly fine minimalism. Cool, the climax didn't really blow me away, didn't give me chills or anything like that. So I thought that was fine. But then this 4-track run of these ambient or minimalist compositions was followed by yet another track, Weeping Birch. That's just an instrumental track of more arpeggiating, keys, minimalism, and it's just like, okay, this is getting kind of redundant. Yes, it sounds good, but I don't care that much. It's just fine. I don't care that it's not like these are really amazing mind-bending compositions. It's just fine. So it's a lot of this album being filled with this kind of like decent but not amazing minimalism is just sort of like kind of makes the whole album a little bit wishy-washy. I mean, there are some really nice tracks here like Fell Into the Ocean, which is a really cool pop song, psychedelic pop song that doesn't sound that much different than something from you might expect from MGMT, which I thought was really cool. But to have these cool pop songs in there that only just kind of like fill in patches here and there, blended together with a lot of so-so minimalism, and the pop songs, frankly, aren't even that amazing to begin with either. It's cool, unique, interesting album. I appreciate the effort, but am I crazy about this album. I don't know. I'm gonna give this a 6.95 out of 10. Perfectly cool. I do appreciate, you know, him trying different things out here. I know Dan Deacon has recently worked on some film scores, so maybe some, you know, he was influenced by his film scores, working on film scores, and that probably influenced his music. I don't fucking know, folks. I'm not freaking Dan Deacon, but I think Dan Deacon fans are gonna like this album because it has a lot of the same pleasantries that make Dan Deacon interesting and bring some new stuff to the table we haven't heard from Dan Deacon before. But wasn't crazy about it. Thought it was pretty cool, though. Some cool ideas. I don't know, 6.95. Thanks for watching. Conclusion now.